Global Champions. Proudly brought to you by MTN.
Welcome to another edition of Inside Off-Road. We meet some interesting people, take another look at the Gold 400, the final round of the ABSA Off-Road Championship, and catch up on the latest Dakar Rally news.
The Gold 400 on the West Rand broke new ground in this year's ABSA Off-Road Championship. The final round of the series was the third new event in this year's calendar, with race headquarters at the Kloof Country Club in Glenharvie. With production vehicle and special vehicle category championships still up for grabs, the Gold 400 provided a tense finish to the season.
The Celebrity Challenge has proved to be a popular innovation in this year's ABSA series, and at the Gold 400 it was the turn of cricket legend John C. Rhodes to sit alongside South African champion Archie Rutherford in the SA Warranties Nissan Navara.
It certainly is. I am a little bit nervous about today, I must confess, because usually you've done, as a cricket player, you've done your preparation the days before. When the game comes, you just forget about it. Now I'm still worried that I'm tip-fixing and changing all the details and have no idea what to expect today, but something very exciting.
A wizard in the field at backward point, Jonty Rhodes followed in the footsteps of fellow cricketer Fanie de Villiers, rugby Springbok Stefan Terblanche and Paralympic swimmer Natalie du Toit. Rutherford and Rhodes got off to a promising start in the Donaldson Prologue to determine race grid positions and finished on the fringes of the top 10. Heavy overnight rain then changed the whole complexion of the race, but for Rhodes, it was not to be the case of rain stopping play.
No, cricket players are very lazy. As soon as we saw a cloud and a bit of drizzle, we headed for the dressing room, but today it's going to add a different dimension to being out there in the wet.
After the Donaldson Prologue, only 3 seconds separated Archie and Jonty, Terence Marsh and George Smalberger in the Region Racing Nissan Navara, and South African champions Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux in the International Toyota Hilux. Rutherford and Rhodes were off to a good start when they passed the Rubicon bat of Peter Ruthven and Leander Pennard, but the heavy overnight rain had turned sections of the route into a quagmire. Even with four-wheel drive, it was going to be a tough day at the office for Rutherford and his rookie co-driver.
Up and down the field, some close battles had developed. Archie and Jonty were involved in an early confrontation with former South African special vehicle champions Quinton and Cully Solvalt in the elegant fuel bat. Four-wheel drive gave Archie and Jonty a slight advantage, but it was a case of slip sliding away, with the bat struggling for traction in the treacherous conditions.
SA Warranties Nissan Navara was carrying a few battle scars when Archie Rutherford and Jonty Rhodes arrived at the designated service point at the end of the first of 2 170-kilometre loops that made up the race. Rugby Springbok Stefan Terblanche and swimming legend Natalie du Toit picked up top 10 finishes in their stints alongside Rutherford, but there was to be no fairy tale ending for Jonty Rhodes.
Absolutely worthwhile. It's been just over the 2 days. I had 3 runs, didn't quite finish the third or the second loop this afternoon. But yesterday was dry and dusty and pretty bumpy in the prologue, and this morning very, very wet. And by the time we'd done the first 30 Ks of loop 2 today, the course had changed a bit as well. So yeah, in 2 days of riding, I had 3 very different experiences. Didn't quite finish the end, but I've had an enjoyable time nonetheless.
German businessman Jürgen Schroeder is best known in ABSA off-road racing circles for his role as co-driver to South African legend Alfie Cox on the Dakar Rally and in selected South African events. The Gold 400 saw Schroeder cast in a different role in the PS Laser Nissan Navara, and the West Rand event saw him make his debut as a driver.
Yeah, on the side, if you're a co-driver, you just tell where to go, and on the other side you have to take the decisions, how fast you do and how do you do the cornering and the braking, and that's totally different, but it's also very fun. And I think I have a little bit experience because I've done already nearly 20,000 Ks in that car with Alfie, so see how it goes and practice 2 days, and I'm happy to be here and do my very best and try to finish.
The ABSA Off-Road Championship is widely regarded as the most competitive domestic series of its kind in the world. This view is endorsed by Jürgen Schroeder, who has been a regular visitor to South African shores in recent years.
I never did a championship overseas, but I think this championship is the best in the world, because I did it 4 Dakars, but if you see the Dakar one day here, is at least same the other day in the Dakar. So it's more rough than in the Dakar even. And I think it's the best racing you can find in the world. Okay, the Dakar is only one event, but here you have a whole series, and it's a very nice racing and nice people and nice cars. And I think all the cars are also competitive and good drivers, and so see where I am in that whole range of drivers and try to do my best.
Down the years, a number of overseas drivers have competed in the APSA series, and Jürgen Schroeder is hoping he can persuade more European-based drivers to race here in South Africa.
Yeah, I would like, there are a few drivers I know, and maybe they come and have a look, and I hope I can motivate a couple of guys to do this race, because I think it will get bigger the next year, also TV coverage and all this stuff, and it's really fun to do that. And I think a lot of guys in the world don't know what kind of racing it is here, and if you never have been in a car like this, you don't know how fun it is and what a car like this can do. And that's a major thing that I think you can motivate and just bring the guys and say, hey, just make a Kodai for a loop and see what kind of terrain you will have in South Africa. And it's a wonderful championship, really.
We move now to the Premier SP class in the production vehicle category at the Gold 400. The SP Class Championship was up for grabs with Team Castrol Toyota crew Duncan Voss and Rob Howie locked in battle with Ford Racing pair Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst. Voss and Howie set off just ahead of Team Castrol Toyota teammates Anthony Taylor and Chris Birkin, and with Visser and Badenhorst needing a win to stand a chance of taking the title, were quite happy to play second fiddle. Taylor and Birkin scored their first win of the season, and second for Voss and Howie was enough to see them add the SP Class title to their overall production vehicle success. Taylor and Birkin finished level on points with Visser and Badenhorst, but were relegated to third in the championship on a count-out.
Pretoria youngsters Christian de Plooy and Henk Janse van Vieren ended their season on a high note with a podium finish in the RFS BMW X3. Behind the BMW, the Unifreight Ford Ranger crew of Kobus van Tonder and Freddie Kriel scored their best result of the season. A steady run took van Tonder and Kriel into fourth place, ahead of outgoing SA champions Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux in the International Toyota Hilux, who also picked up their best result of the year. Veterans Hannes Grobler and Henny Testeger bowed out of the race with sixth place in the second RFS BMW, and behind them Terence Marsh and George Schmalberger looked to have had a hold on seventh place in the Regent Racing Nissan Navara.
A late burst from Visser and Badenhorst took them past Marsh and Smallberger and into seventh place ahead of the Regent Racing entry. While Marsh and Smallberger were again in the top 10, the seventh place finish was a disappointing result for Visser and Badenhorst and ended their SP Class title hopes. Behind Marsh and Smallberger, debutant driver Jürgen Schroeder and Gerard Schutter were the last of the SP Class classified finishers in the PS Laser Nissan Navara.
A 1-2 result was the perfect finish for the Castrol Toyota team, with Duncan Voss and Rob Howie adding the SP Class title to their production vehicle championship. For Team Castrol, it ended a title drought of almost a decade.
Yeah, we're ecstatic. You know, it's our first win or championship win for Toyota, so we've had a great day. The pressure was on us not to make any mistakes, and we got through some tricky conditions today, but we're ecstatic with our results.
The final SP Class points table with the tie for second place behind champions Voss and Howie. With 3 wins to 1 during the season, the runner-up slot went to Visser and Badenhorst ahead of Taylor and Birkin.
A look now at Classes D and E on the Gold 400. Both titles had been settled with Class D champions Cliff Weigelt and Johan Smallberger sitting out this event. Youngsters Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman saved the best for last with a win in Class D in the 4x4 Mega World Toyota Hilux. The Northwest crew finished ahead of Mpumalanga brothers Johan and Werner Horn in the Motherland Toyota Land Cruiser. Behind the Horn brothers, Class C champions Dirk Pitter and Koos Claessens capped a remarkable season with their 7th win in 8 outings in the 4x4 Mega World Toyota Hilux. Pitter and Claessens nursed home a 6-sounding Toyota and were followed home by outgoing Class D champions Jack and Sarel Oosthuizen in the LMC Land Rover.
The The final points table in Class D saw the father and son team of Jack and Sarel Oosthuizen just edge out the Horn brothers for second place behind Klip Weichelt and Johan Smalberger. The gap between second and third was only 2.5 points.
On the Class E front, Dirk Pitter and Koos Claessens were runaway winners ahead of KZN crew of Rowan Lamb and Lyle Parker. The Ford Ranger pair took the award for the season's best newcomers.
All good things come to an end, and the Gold 400 saw RFS BMW veterans Hannes Grobler and Henny ter Steege ride off into the sunset. The ebullient and versatile Grobler leaves behind a legion of fans after a remarkable career that saw him win South African championships in off-road racing, rallying and on the track.
Ja, dit is nogal die laaste week het ek maar redelijk snaaks gevoel en ek dink is nogal 'n bietjie voel emosioneel omdat die laaste wedren is. Maar ek het dit geniet. Ek het 'n goeie 36 jaar motorsport gehad en ek kan definitief nie huil oor alles wat ek gewen het en wat ek bereik het in my motorsportloopbaan nie.
In a career spanning 36 years, there's plenty of scope for highlights, and Hannes has plenty of happy memories.
Ag, my hoogtepunte in my loopbaan is al baie van, jy weet, is jy weet, een van die hoogtepunte is seker toe ek dubbel kampioen was in 86 waar ons die veldren kampioenskap en die tydren kampioenskap in 1 jaar gewen het. En toe ek my Springbok klere gekry het en ek het agterna hier in 98 rond het ek ook by nasionale klere die kompeteerklere gekry en dan het ons 'n paar kampioenskappe ook gewen, jy weet, en ons goeie renne gewen, jy weet, en ek het op die baan gery en op die en tydrenne en veldrenne en ek het kampioenskappe daar gewen wat ek dink nie wat baie ouens al dit kon doen nie.
Evergreen Henny ter Steege won races in both the production vehicle and special vehicle categories. He won the special vehicle championship with Elfie Cox in 2006 and also has happy memories.
Ja, ons het nogal. Ek dink een van die goed wat ek nog die beste kan onthou is toe ek in Duncan die Roof gewen het en die ander ene was toe ek in Hannes die Desert Rides gewen het. Dit was twee van my hoogtepunte.
The ever-smiling Grobler and ter Steege are proof that nice guys do win and carry with them the best wishes of the South African off-road racing fraternity.
Africa, a continent of infinite potential and possibility. As a proudly African company, MultiChoice is passionate about developing this potential and investing in our most precious resource, our people. From recognizing and rewarding excellence in journalism, to bridging the digital divide and connecting learners to world-class educational content, and inspiring creative thinking on the impact of technology on our continent. We work together with communities and help train healthcare personnel and fund medical research. We provide support to those who need it the most, help small business owners to build their communities, and empower staff in all the countries in which we operate. For us, it's about making a lasting and positive difference. Because Africa is not only home to exceptional people, it's a place we are proud to call home. MultiChoice, investing in Africa's future.
This will be where giants come to battle. This will be what the world stands still to watch. This will be the reason millions hold their breath. This will be epic. EuroLeague Basketball, live on SuperSport, your world of champions.
Welcome back as we turn our attention to next year's Dakar Rally. The Toyota Imperial team will again tackle the Dakar Rally in South America in January with 2012 heroes Janelle de Villiers and German co-driver Dirk von Zitzewitz out in a new Toyota Hilux. The Gold 400 on the West Rand provided the ideal opportunity to put the new vehicle through its paces.
Well, we're here this weekend to have a final run in the car, especially under race conditions. It's the last round of the South African Championship, and they've been so kind as to allow us to run at the head of the field and to just make sure that everything is in good working order for the Dakar. We did a lot of testing before the race, and you know, we just want to make sure that everything's working as it should, especially in race conditions. And yeah, it'll be a good test for the car. It'll be a good test for some of the team, and yeah, we hope to do well and get through the race without any problems.
Cape-based Janiel de Villiers is a former Dakar Rally winner, and along with Dirk von Zitzewitz, struck a major blow for South African off-road racing. They finished third on last year's Dakar Rally. The pair will again be joined this year by South African champions Duncan Vos and Rob Howie.
Well, obviously we had quite a good year last year, coming third, basically like a win for us, going there for the first time. But a lot of things are different this year in terms of the car. We've improved the car a lot. We've changed, the engine's changed to 5-litre engine to give us more torque. We've changed the rear suspension, and we've changed, you know, various other things on the car. Other one being mainly the centre of gravity, which is a lot lower down and helps us in the corners and stuff. So all in all, the first impressions of the car is very good, and you know, it's definitely improvement on last year's car. So we'll have to see when we get there to the first couple of stages, you know, if it's good enough and how we're going to fare against the competition.
The two Toyota Imperial crews will be joined on the Dakar Rally by Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson, with a later entry a Christmas present for the Atlas Copco pair.
In Bloemfontein we got the news that the prize has been shifted down from Evan to us. Within a week we managed to get our sponsors back on board. We managed to talk to some service providers. We wanted to buy a car, but it wasn't enough time, so we rented a car from Pro Dakar, proudly Netherlands. So we're 3 teams in a car. It's a team from France, team from the Netherlands themselves, and our South African team joining them on the Pro Dakar team.
Life just recently has been hectic for Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson, with a testing stint in Namibia and a visit to Holland for seat fittings.
The car is a T1 McRae MC4. It's basically the same running gears as the SP class runs here. It's got Reicher suspension, SADEV gearbox, 4-wheel drive, diff locks, and it looks quite capable. It's not a works car, but you know, it looks strong. It looks like we'll be able to finish in it.
In a tense finish to the season at the Gold 400, both the Class A and Special Vehicle Championships still had to be settled. 3 teams were in contention, with championship leaders Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen slight favourites ahead of Atlas Copco crew Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson and Laurens and Gerard du Plessis in a Zarco Magnum. By the halfway mark, van Staden and Lawrenson and the du Plessis brothers had fallen by the wayside and were out of the championship running. Hutchison and Stassen were followed home by the husband and wife pair of Marius and Jolinda Fourie, who were on the podium for the second time this year in the PHB VAT.
The drive of the day came from Mark Corbett and Rudy Balzer in the Century Racing CR4. From the back of the grid after problems on the Donaldson Prologue, the pair skied their way through the field to snatch a podium finish in Class A. 4th and 5th went to the pairing of KwaZulu-Natal entries Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell, putting together another workmanlike performance in the Gibson Racing Porter. Gibson and Campbell had around 5 minutes to spare over Daniel Brooks and Gavin Gray in the Ducatis Bats. For Brooks and Gray, it was their best result since graduating to the National Series from the KwaZulu-Natal Regional Championship midway through the season.
There was another workmanlike performance from brothers Daniel and Lozili, with the pair in the points for the 4th race in a row in the Orange Works Porter. They were followed home by Botswana-based driver Mogre Mabili and Zelda Nimmans in a Zarco Light, and the du Plessis brothers, who were hampered by a litany of problems that dropped them down to 8th place and out of title contention.
In the end, Motorride Bat crew of Evan Hutchinson and Dani Stassen cruised to a comfortable win, with the pair bagging both the Special Vehicle and Class A championships.
Yeah, long season, a lot of up and downs, but I think it was the best way to end the season with a win and the championship as well, so very, very happy.
The final Class A championship positions, with Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen comfortable winners. Behind them, the du Plessis brothers sneaked in via the back door to edge out Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson by 1.5 points.
The Class P Championship also needed to be settled at the Gold 400. In contention were championship leaders Colin Matthews and Alan Smith in the Century Racing CR3, with a late run of form bringing Regent Racing pair of Richard Fuller and Dennis Murphy into the reckoning.
Yeah, I mean, it's all built up to this. You know, it's if you look at the beginning of the season, we actually weren't in the series at the beginning of the season. It was only after Mr. Terence Marsh gave us a call from Regent that he said, can we come on board and help out for a bit? And very grateful to the Regent team for inviting us in, and we've managed to put ourselves in a position to fight for the championship this year. So yeah, 12 points in it. We need to win, and unfortunately Colin has to go a little bit further down the field for us to win it, but we're going to give it our all.
None of the other Class P teams have been able to match Colin Matthews and Alan Smith for pace, and the Century Racing crew produced a copybook display to finish third overall and wrap up the Class P title. Richard Fuller and Dennis Murphy continued a good run of form to finish a solid second in the Regent Racing Bet, but were locked out of the championship reckoning. Behind Fuller and Murphy, the father and daughter combination of Coetzee and Sandra Labuschagne made sure of finishing third in the Class P standings in the race Sonic Zarko.
After dominating Class B in the Northern Region Championship, the father and son combination of Tony and Michael Gouveia stepped up a notch in the Gearbox Services Bet. They celebrated with a comfortable win and came home ahead of veteran Rob Walk and Jeremy Wood, who were fourth in Class P in the Super Pave ASCO. At the back of the field, perseverance paid off once again for brothers Keith and Andrew McInerney, who were last of their Class B entries to be classified as finishers. Meanwhile, at the finish, Century Racing supporters were celebrating as Colin Matthews and Alan Smith put the finishing touches to winning the Class P title.
Very nice. We came third overall today. We've won the Class B Championship, which is really great. Richard Fuller gave us a good run for our money there towards the end. But luckily we brought it home today, and we've got it.
After a little hiccup in the middle of the season, Matthews and Smith finished 17 points clear of Fuller and Murphy, with consistency the key to a good season for Coetzee and Sandra Labuschagne.
Motorsport sponsorship is a marketing tool that provides companies and organizations with an opportunity to develop brand awareness, and there is an old adage that says, what wins on Saturday and Sunday sells on Monday. Donaldson Filtration Systems have been a valuable partner in the ABSA Off-Road Championship and recently held a corporate day at the Girotech test facility near Pretoria.
These corporate days are invaluable. They give us an opportunity to expose some of our customers to this kind of an atmosphere, help them to understand that our business, it goes outside of just the commercial environment, and it's a fun way of really showing our customers what we're capable of and the kind of relationship we have with our customers.
Top factory and privateer teams competing in the production vehicle and special vehicle categories in the ABSA Off-Road Championship made available drivers and cars for the Donaldson Corporate Day. A short spin on a specially laid out route within the Girotech facility gave Donaldson customers and clients a taste of what it's like to travel at high speed in off-road vehicles.
Any form of motor racing is not for the faint of heart, but for Donaldson customers and clients, a short spin around Girotech is a truly exhilarating experience.
Tell me about it. Oh, it was great. First time, enjoyed it. Awesome.
Wow. I could use other words, but wow.
And perhaps hiding among Donaldson customers is a budding off-road champion.
An event that is dear to the hearts of the ABSA Off-Road fraternity has been running for more than 25 years. The annual Sunfield Christmas Party at the Tarleton International Raceway on the West Rand raises funds for the Logwood Village for children who are suffering from Down syndrome. The days run in conjunction with the Rotary Merlins Club of Roodepoort, with the Harley Davidson Club, and for children, it's the highlight of the year.
Well, look, that's something which I think is in its 26th year. It's something that started by off-roaders many years ago. We've always played as a guardian to Logwood Village, which is for intellectually handicapped children. And we have a Christmas party. We have some fundraising, but I think most importantly, these children just look forward the whole year to having a ride in our racing cars, and that'll be taking place in the next 2 weeks. Anyone's welcome to come and join us. It's at Tarleton on the 9th of December, Sunday the 9th. It's a lovely occasion, and it's just a small way of us giving back for having had the pleasure of racing and doing so many nice things.
The recent Gold 400 on the West Rand signalled the end of an era in South African off-road racing. It was the final race to be run under the ABSA banner and brought to an end an 11-year association between the banking group and South African off-road racing. The partnership started in 2002 with Duncan Voss and Mike Griffiths winning the Production Vehicle Championship and Greg Harvey and Roy Stone the Special Vehicle title.
In 2003, Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek took the Production Vehicle title, with veteran Giel Nel winning the Special Vehicle Championship in the single-seater Luke Truggy.
Nissan won the Production Vehicle title for the third year in a row in 2004 via a second successive championship-winning effort from Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek. Botswana driver Atang Magegeneni teamed up with Bix Cowlin to win the Special Vehicle title.
Off-road motorcycle legend Alfie Cox turned to four wheels to win the Production Vehicle Championship with Ralph Pitchford in 2005, whilst brothers-in-law Terence Marsh and Mike Whitehouse teamed up to win the Special Vehicle title.
Nissan continued on their merry way in 2006 with Hannes Grobler and Francois Jourdan taking the Production Vehicle laurels, while Alfie Cox made history by winning the Special Vehicle Championship with Henny ter Steege.
In 2007, Duncan Voss and Francois Jourdan took the Production Vehicle driver and co-driver titles for Nissan, who made it 6 championships in a row. On the Special Vehicle, there was success for Evan Hutchinson and Achim Bergman, who gave Motorrad back-to-back titles.
Nissan's 7th title in a row went to Duncan Voss and Jean Moore in the Production Vehicle category in 2008, with Voss chalking up his 3rd driver's title. On the Special Vehicle front, Cully and Quinton Silvald became the first father and son combination to win the championship.
Nissan and Duncan Voss were at it again in the 2009 Production Vehicle Championship. That gave Voss his 4th title and Nissan their 8th successive championship. There was also more successful Motorrad Revo pair of Evan Hutchinson and Achim Bergman on the Special Vehicle front.
Nissan's string of 8 successive championship wins was broken in 2010 by privateers Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst, who did the trick in a Toyota Hilux. In the Special Vehicle Championship, Cully and Quinton Silvald were back in business, this time in the elegant Fuelbat.
In 2011, it was a case of keeping it in the family. Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux took over from Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst in the Production Vehicle category, and Herman and Wichard Silvald succeeded Cully and Quinton Silvald amongst the specials.
The 2012 Production Vehicle Championship saw the factory Castrol Toyota team break a title drought of nearly a decade, with Duncan Voss scoring a 5th driver's title and Rob Halby the co-driver champion. Evan Hutchison took his 3rd Special Vehicle title for Motorrad Racing with a maiden success for Dani Stassen.
South African off-road racing enjoys a high profile internationally, and much of this success can be laid at ABSA's door. The off-road fraternity salutes ABSA and says farewell to a legend.